So all of these accidents, so-called accidents, all of these things that befall us in our lives are ways that the shadow or the unconscious is going to affect us. And these are what we call accidents. We know are no more accidents. This is what Carl Gustav Jung called synchronicity. And Jung worked with one of the greatest physicists, Pauli, and they both proposed a new explanatory principle, which was not causality but which was synchronicity, as being this force in life that makes things happen in our life. And of course the law of attraction talked about this, but not in these terms, because before we get to, as it were, create and attract new things into our life, this is what we are attracting, this is what we are creating, and that is that we are going to attract in our life what we most are rejecting. And if you are most fighting, for instance, racism, and this is what's going to happen to you. You know, if you are a teacher of racial profiling, this is what you are going to make happen to you. You're going to you are going to conjure up something in your life that is going to make you experience this, and often at the opposite side of where you think you're at. This is, if we do not understand this, we are not going to survive.
So how, if somebody is just like living his life and you're saying something is being compensatory to their behavior, how would they know they're actually in a battle?
Exactly.
How would they know that?
Exactly. The first step is to become aware of this battle between what I call the demon within, who is trying to boycott the agenda of the deceiver. We must become aware of that interplay, which is a battle, which begins as a conflict. So, for instance, if you are being very control-oriented and very wanting to be in control of everything, the compensatory mechanism will conjure up a storm of anxiety. So, for instance, a lot of anxiety symptoms are basically someone that is being exposed to what they most are rejecting consciously. Yes, and the first step is to become aware of that. Become aware of that interplay that is constantly occurring. If you listen, go to any person or anything, you're going to hear the compensatory effect of the shadow, which is the word what we call when Anubis talks, men bark. And if you listen keenly, you will hear exactly what someone is trying to not say.
How?
Oh, in any amount of ways, in slips of the tongue, in symptoms. If you listen if you pay very keen attention to someone's symptoms, you will see that the symptom is making them do what they least want to do. And so there is a constant interplay occurring between you and your what we call the shadow, or which is that opposite in your life that you are most avoiding. So for instance, if I go to sleep at night and I have a nightmare where I'm exposed to terrible fear, it means that by day I am avoiding anxiety. and then I use that as a way to know what I have to do by day, or to stop doing by day. You see, if this does not become a way of living, we're not going to understand this law, which is a law beyond the psyche or the physical. This is a unified law.
So you have to constantly look for opposites.
Constantly, in yourself, in your environment, and this throws you into a kind of a natural meditation, because you start to observe. Really? Okay, what's going on right now? You start to study what's happening around you, and you start to look for synchronicity. You look for signs and signals and symptoms. You also look at your body for symptoms, signs of compensatory signs. What is my body telling me right now? What is my environment? What is someone else really trying to tell me? Often the shadow or the compensatory mechanism will speak through another person, and we censor it away.
Like how?
Like, for instance, if a reporter is telling you something about your party, your political party, showing you that, for instance, your party is doing things that they are claiming that they don't do, you will very easily see the person just totally deny it and don't even do as if it's they're hearing anything of that nature. So we learn to be very aware. It's like almost another level of awareness where we start to become, it's a heightened awareness of what is happening around me. We mostly are not in the now in these terms, but this is like, this takes you into the now in terms of observe, okay, what effects are occurring right now to show me my self-deception. You see, it's all going to show you your, of course, when you become very competent at this, you will be able to see how this is also constantly occurring in others.
I guess it's much easier to see it in the other.
It's much easier, but it's also a way of keeping in touch with this, which is basically what I call this field mechanism.